Ooh, Shadow Pokemon! Are they really stronger than non-Shadow Pokemon? Well, today we're gonna find out the truth about Shadow Pokemon, as today I've got some really detailed information to provide and share with you guys today. Alright, so hi to all of you guys! So yep, let me go to bring my screen up. And for those of you who have actually seen me play Pokemon GO for the last many years, I've always emphasized to go after Shadow Pokemon because they are really strong. How strong are they though? Well, I'm not gonna explain too much, but I'll let someone else explain it on an article. So this particular article on PokeBattler was written by T-Ben54. Thank you very much for all this and credits to you. Alright, I'll put the link in the description down below. Go ahead and check out the link and read whatever information you guys need to read. But check out this particular infographics though. He has actually labeled them from tier 1 to tier 7 in terms of which are the most useful Shadow Pokemon. Alright, so number 1 being like Shadow Swine, Shadow Salamence, Shadow Dragonite, Shadow Metagross, and also Shadow Machamp. To me, ranking Shadow Salamence and Shadow Dragonite as the tier 1, I don't think you have to put 2 dragons on top. But also a lot of people will say that Shadow Mewtwo is really strong, but the reason why he ranked it like this, he explained it that depends on how useful they are, how strong they are, and also how, overly used they are in a sense. So really good compilation of all this, and actually he gave a very nice write-up of it, which we will go through, and also I'll run some simulations with you guys also to show you guys some of the things that he actually talked about to prove that it's true. Alright, these are the ones also. So, like I said, I'll put everything in the description down below. You guys can go ahead and check it out. Alright, so why Shadow Pokemon though? He wrote under the introduction here. The reason why he wrote this article was because of the Rocket Takeover event. He wanted to explain why is it so good. So he said over here, as raid attackers, they are insanely strong and almost strict upgrades over their non-Shadow selves. Alright, but which ones are stronger and more useful than the others? So we will talk about that over here. So the thing though, if you take for example a Mewtwo with 300 base attack, if you give it Shadow form, it adds another 60 attack, even if you talk about it having 0 IVs. So that is very insane if you ask me, going by 60 attack increase, as compared to something like a Shaco that the attack stat is very low but the defense stat is very high. If you give it a Shadow form, the defense will go down even lower, because we will talk about that later on also. So over here, he stated over here, too long didn't read, we will just look at the summary. Alright, Shadow Pokemon are 16% better than their own non-Shadows at the same level, hence OP, overpowered. Alright, 16% is roughly the average. However, they are not a necessity if you want some decent teams. They are premium investments. A full team of Shadow only saves you 5 to 10 seconds in a group raid. That is true. But one thing I'd like to add about that statement though, if you want to do short man raids, for example a duo or a trio very efficiently, that's when the Shadow Pokemon really comes into play and really will help you a lot. Even battling against Team Rocket grunts and leaders, the Shadow Pokemon will take them down faster in certain situations also, as long as the Shadow Pokemon can survive long enough to fire off extra charge moves. Alright, so the next one he said, no, Shadow Pokemon are not more expensive than their own non-Shadows, arguably. Alright, so he gave the example, level 30 Shadows are better and cheaper than level 40 non-Shadows. Alright, so we're going to go ahead to check it out. First of all, let's go back to Pokemon GO. Let's go into some of my Shadow Pokemon that I can share with you guys. We're going to check Metagross. And over here, there is a level 20 Metagross here. This one I caught from the raid. It's actually a Hundo. Alright, and if we were to power it up to say level 50, okay, it would cost us a total of 475,000 Stardust, 248 Candies, and 296 Candy XL. Alright, so remember, this is going to go up to level 50. If we were to power up a Shadow Metagross instead up to level 40, for example, if I were to use a Beldum, a Shadow Beldum, which is this one that I have with really pretty good IVs already, 15, 15, and 8. If we were to power it up to level 40, no XL being used, alright, it will go up to 315,138 Stardust. That is a total of 160,000 Stardust less than powering up a non-shadow up to level 50 and it costs you 0 Candy XL. Alright, you guys are wondering right now, hey, but Brandon, you are comparing a level 50, non-shadow versus a shadow level 40. That's not fair. What if you power it up all the way up to level 50? Yes, it will cost more than the non-shadow one. However, you do not actually need to power it up to level 50 to have it even better than the level 50 non-shadow form. Well, don't believe me? Let's go ahead to run some simulations. Okay, over here, we're going to go under here, Poke Battler. We're going to go under my Pokebox. I'm doing everything with you guys so that you guys can see that everything is, over here. Okay, we're going to add a Pokemon and we're going to type Metagross. Okay, we're going to add Metagross and we're going to add a level 50. This is level 50 non-shadow, yeah? We're going to give it Bullet Punch, Meteor Mash. Alright, Bullet Punch, Meteor Mash, saved. Great. So that's saved under my Pokebox. We're going to now set up a Shadow Metagross, alright, with level 40. Now we are level 40 Shadow Metagross. You know what? In fact, I will even do this. I will give it 0 IVs. So we are going to compare a 0 IV Shadow Metagross level 40 against a level 50 Hundo Metagross, alright, with the same moves, Meteor Mash. We got to be fair on that. So the both of them are ready over there. Alright, where are they? Okay, they are over there. Both of them are there. So like I said, one of them has 0 IVs, Shadow level 40. The other one is level 50, Hundo. Okay, so now let's go and look for a raid to simulate on. We have two particular Pokemon that I would like to run the simulations on. One is Mega Aerodactyl, because that's the one that I actually like using Mega, or should I say Shadow Metagross on. Okay, sorry, it's over here, Legacy. Over here, I need to look for it. Sorry, I'm blind. Okay, I'm still looking for it. Yep, okay, it's over here. Yeah, it's literally blind. It's at the top. Okay, so now over here with Mega Aerodactyl. Sorry, Mega Aerodactyl. No friendship, no weather boost at all. These are the results. Take a look at this. I've sorted by time to win, means the fastest time to take down. A 0% level 40 Shadow Metagross beats a level 50 non-Shadow Metagross. And you only require 315,000 Stardust versus 475,000 Stardust. You save Stardust essentially having a better Pokemon. Adding to that though, it still has potential to be even powered up to beyond level 40, hence you still have potential to upgrade it even further. So if you just take this example alone, you guys can see you're going to save Stardust already. If you want to make it even more extreme, well, we can even check out against Mega Metagross. We're going to go back to my Pokebox. By the way, if you use a level 38, 0% IV Shadow Metagross also, it will still beat the Hundo level 50 Metagross. Oh yeah, another Pokemon that I like to show you guys though is over here. Where is it? Let's go ahead to here. Not Arceus though. Where is it? Hello. I'm really blind. Okay, here. Black Kyurem. Alright, we go under Black Kyurem. Black Kyurem will come in the future, and the number 1 attacker would be Shadow Metagross. Alright, so Shadow Metagross over here, you guys can see a 0% level 40 Metagross beats a level 50 non-Shadow Metagross. Of course, you guys will be saying, hey Brandon, but the number of deaths are more. It's 24 versus 17. But if you go as a group, like for example 6 people, you just need a total of 24 divided by 6, that's 4 plus 1, that's 5. Each of you got 5 Shadow Metagross, that's good enough to take down. And remember, this is level 40, 0% IV, yeah? Remember that. I don't think everybody will have a full team of 0% level 40, 0% IV Shadow Metagross, okay? So I don't think that's going to be possible at all. So we're going to go back to the Pokebox, alright? We're going to add one more Pokemon, and that is Mega Metagross. Okay, we're gonna add that. We're gonna go under advanced. We're gonna sort by level. Okay, not sort by level, but give it. Excuse me. What's going on? Yeah, we're gonna give it. Excuse me. Sorry, some technical difficulties here. I'm trying to scroll. Poke Battler. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, cool. Okay, now level 50. We give it Hundo. We give it Bullet Punch, and also Meteor Mash. Save. Okay, so it has been saved, right? Saved. Okay, it's now saved. Great. So to be fair, we're gonna give the Shadow Metagross, just now the one that wrong Pokemon. We're gonna have to add that again. Metagross. Like I said, I'm gonna show you guys everything. I'm not gonna like cut any part so that you guys can see what I'm doing also. And if you guys wanna do it and test it out all by yourself, you guys can do it too. Alright, we're gonna go all the way to level 50, and now we're just gonna give it IVs 10. I think that's rather decent. That's rather realistic also. I don't think it's possible for everyone to get a 100% IV Shadow Metagross. Alright, we're going to give it Bullet Punch and also Meteor Mash. Alright, great. And now we save this. This is a 10-10-10 IV, level 50 Shadow Metagross. So we're going to remove the one that is... We're going to remove the one... Actually, you know, I could have edited that. Okay, never mind. No worries. All good. We're going to go back to the rates. Okay, we search for Black Curium again. Okay, Black Curium is here. Now I know where it is. Over here. Okay, so now let's go to see this. Hey, guys. The Shadow Metagross at level 50, 10-10-10 IVs beats the Mega. Of course, by only 0.1 seconds in this particular situation. But my point to you guys is that the Shadow Metagross is so strong, and remember, you can only have one Mega on your team, so you can't have like multiple Megas. So hence, having the Shadow Metagross is really, really strong. This even applies to, you know, the other Shadow Pokemon, but of course, Metagross, because of its typing, makes it very, very unique. So if we talk about Mamoswine wise, also, like for example, this particular Mamoswine, it's at level 8. All Shadow Pokemon that you catch are either level 8 or level 13. At level 8, they are non-weather boosted. At level 13, they are weather boosted. And hence, your amount of Stardust required to power up will cost you a total of 615,000 Stardust. But like I said, if you just power them up to level 40, using a total of 315,000 Stardust will actually be kind of better than even a non-shadow one already at level 50. So if you check out this Swine up over here, the 402 CP, this is a Hundo, it's level 20. So if you power it up to level 50, it will cost 480,000 Stardust. So that will cost more, you know, to actually power up a Swine up, or should I say a Pokemon up from whatever level that is non-shadow to level 50 and not being as strong as a level 40 shadow Pokemon. Alright, so that's that. I've already proven that. And we're going to go back to the article again, alright, by T-Ben. It has to load a bit, I'm so sorry. So back to here though, he actually added on and said that no, a bad IV Shadow Pokemon is not useless. Well, I also proved that a 0% IV Shadow Metagross level 40 beats a Hundo level 50 Metagross in terms of taking down a raid boss quicker. Alright, so IVs do not matter, and he said IVs only make roughly 7% of difference. That's true. It depends on the Pokemon that you are looking at. For example, Mewtwo is roughly 6%-ish. Alright, if you talk about maybe a Shuckle, it's like way lower than that. It's difference of maybe like 2 to 3% only. Alright, so he said, no, just because a Shadow has a higher DPS than a Legendary does not always mean it performs better. That is true. Like for example, if you compare a Shadow Blaziken versus Reshiram, there are certain situations that the Shadow Reshiram, the Shadow Blaziken is better than the Reshiram with Fusion Flare. But in certain situations, the Reshiram is better. If you want to go more into details though, well, under here, the basics, and under the Shadow Pokemon, why they are better, he explained that in all battle formats in Pokemon GO, Shadow Pokemon deal 20% more damage while taking 20% more damage, effectively 1.2 times attack and 0.83 times defense. In a way, 17% or 0.17 times less defense. While this is generally a side grade in PvP and other formats, it fits in the goal of raids perfectly since you are always beating the clock, thus having higher DPS, damage per second, typically is the main goal. That's true. This means at the same Pokemon level, a Shadow Pokemon is 16% better than its own non-Shadow counterpart. This is verifiable upon both theoretically, matrix and simulations, which I've just shown you guys. But the thing is, I did not compare the same level Pokemon. If you compare a level 50 Shadow, same IV Pokemon with a level 50 non-Shadow, same IV Pokemon, it will be 16% better for the Shadow Pokemon. While 16% may only translate to a few seconds of time saving, in actual rates, in terms of relative ranking, it's huge, and often making the difference of a whole tier or two. If you're building a new raid team from scratch, it's almost always preferred to power up a Shadow versus a non-Shadow. That is true. That is very, very true. I always tell my friends, just build the Shadow Pokemon. But of course, the correct Shadow Pokemon, the species, is also important. You do not want to power up, you know, like Shadow Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, or those basically not good Pokemon. The Pokemon stats and even the movesets are very, very important too. Hence why Shadow Metagross having Bullet Punch and the best charge move, Steel type charge move, Meteor Mash, makes it very, very sick. Alright, so he continues by saying, this is why for the purpose of building raid attackers, do not purify unless you know exactly what you're doing. A 91% Shadow Metagross is way better than a 100% purified Shadow Purified Metagross as a raid attacker. That is so true. Even if they have a 0% IV Shadow Metagross, it will beat the 100% Purified Metagross if they are powered at the same level, and there are exceptions which I will note at the end of the article. Well, we won't go into that because that's just too complicated. However, powering up Shadow Pokemon is not a requirement nor a necessity to do raids, because their practical difference is still very small. That is very true. If anyone ever tells you need 6 Shadow Metagross to succeed in the game, screw that. That is so true also, okay? I would usually tell my team to go after 6 Shadow Metagross, to build a team of 6 Shadow Metagross, 6 Shadow Swines, and 6 Shadow Salamence, etc. Because I know my friends like Auntie Gladys and whoever that plays with me in Singapore can grind that much and play that much to actually grind out those 6 Shadow Metagross. But it's not for everyone. If you have like 2 or 3 Shadow of that particular Pokemon like Swine or even Metagross, I think your team is kind of good, very good already in my books. But if you really want to maximize it, having 5 or 6 is good. 5 is good enough really, especially for Metagross, because you'll prepare 1 for Mega in the future. So you don't need 6. So in a 6 player lobby, 1 person using 6 times Shadow, a team versus a non-Shadow team only saves you 5 to 10 seconds at most. That is true. But if everybody is using Shadow Metagross, and in a situation that 1 person lags out, 1 person wasn't able to tap properly, 1 person fell asleep while fighting the raid, and you only left with 2 people fighting the Kyurem, you could still duo it. Or some people didn't even make it for the lobby. Alright, so Shadow are what I call premium investment. That's true, just like Legendaries, they are for players who are essentially interested in building, I do not pronounce the word, sorry, in building stronger and raid teams, and who find a need to short man, like I said, duo or trio, and not enough for a local raid for in-person only raids, not for someone who just needs some decent counters to pull their weight in raids. Yeah, that is totally true. So another thing though that we'll check out over here, alright, some mythbusters about the Shadow Pokemon. Some people will say that Shadow Pokemon are more expensive than the non-Shadow form, but he said no, Shadow Pokemon are not more expensive, which I've already proven it also. Alright, I do not need to go into the details of it because I've shown you guys just now already by the simulations. Alright, he said that Shadow Pokemon do not faint more often than their own Shadow. So if you count in terms of TDO, alright, the Shadow Pokemon is high, and you hence the shorter amount of time you take down the raid boss would allow you to, suffer less damage. But you technically suffer the same amount of damage because you are Shadow, and you suffer more damage, but you do more damage also, so hence why it shortens the time. Hence why, he says that a Shadow Pokemon would maybe do the same amount of damage in 16 seconds versus a non-Shadow that will do the same amount of damage in roughly 20 seconds. 4 seconds faster to actually do the same amount of damage, which is very sick. Alright, so a bad IV Shadow Pokemon is useless. So that's why a lot of people, they are thinking, oh, my Mewtwo, it only has like 10 IV attack and like 7 defense, 7 stamina or something like that. It's not good at all, and they don't want to power it up. Well, first of all, think about this. How often do you see Shadow Mewtwo come to you? Second of all, like I said, the IVs do not really matter here. You even explain over here, which I wouldn't go too much into detail, but if you compare a Hundo and a Nando, a 0% IV Shadow Mewtwo, it's roughly around 4% difference. Alright, it 4 to 6% difference. 6% difference, sorry, 6% difference. So it wouldn't be too great of a difference, so much so that the IVs matters so much. Alright. So another thing though, because a Shadow Pokemon has higher DPS than Legendary, doesn't mean that it performs better. Yeah, so he even said over here, in the example of the Shadow Blaziken, it has 9% higher DPS than Reshiram, but only 58% of its TDO, thus a lower ER in simulations. So the Shadow Blaziken only has a better time to win 46% of the time, and that's ignoring relobby. With this knowledge that that 46% of the time, if you were to do raids, the Shadow Blaziken is better, it means the Reshiram is 54% better in situations than the Blaziken, the Shadow Blaziken. But in certain situations that, like example, if you talk about Genesect, the current raid boss, that Shadow Blaziken double resist bug, okay, thanks to its fire and fighting typing, you would do better than Reshiram. It would do better than Reshiram. But if you talk about, Reshiram having a dragon typing also, you have resistance towards certain typing also, it will also do better. So it depends also. Alright. So I think that is it that I have to share with you guys. But one more thing I'd like to share with you guys though, if you guys want to know how important the IVs are, well, I'm going to show you guys one more time. I've already shown in many of my videos. This is my level 50 Shadow Mewtwo. It has 15 attack, very lucky to get that. 11 attack, not even close to a 100 whatsoever. I use them though. Alright, so these are some of them, including some really poor ones. I'm going to show you guys this particular level 50 Shadow Memo Swine. Alright, I mean, it has 15 attack. This one has 15 attack. Okay, this one, see, 11, 15, 14. I would use that also, even though the attack is like 11. Alright, and if we talk about Electivire, so check out this Electivire. It's level 50. This is level 50. We'll show you the IVs, right? 15 attack, great. But if you check out, like, for example, another Electivire, this one, it has 14 attack. It's not like close to a hundo. Alright, another one that I'd like to show you guys are my Moltres. Alright, so my Moltres, most of them max out to level 40. Not maxed out, powered up to level 40. Yep, level 40 ain't maxed out. So level 50, I do not have enough Candy XL to power all 3 to level 50, but I may do that in a future video. So 15 attack. This one with 7 IV attack, I still power it up to level 40. This one with even poorer IVs, 5, 15, 0. I still power it up to level 40, and I power this up to level 50 also in the future, because like I said, this is better than the non-shadow form. Even better than my Shando. Yep. So that is all that I have to show to you guys in this video, and hopefully you guys have a better insight towards how strong Shadow Pokemon are. For those of you who are still very skeptical in terms of whether should you power up your Shadow Pokemon or not, if it's a legendary Shadow Pokemon, I urge you guys to power it. The useful ones like Mewtwo, like Moltres, like Raikou, etc., I will urge you guys to power them up. But if you talk about the others, what kind of IVs should you actually set for yourself to actually target to get? For me, personally, Bagon, Beldum, Mamoswine, the good ones I set at 91% IV and above, usually to actually power them. Unless I need them for a video or whatever purpose, then I will actually power them up slightly lower than 91% IV. But not everyone would grind. Team Rocket grinds the way I grind, so everybody would have a different base set to their IVs. For you, if you actually don't have a lot of Pokestops around your area, but you get a lot of, like a chance to get the balloons and you fight them regularly, your IVs you could set at maybe 60% and above, or maybe even 50% and above. But for people who are living in a city with a lot of grunts available, being able to fight grunts like crazy, especially during the Team Rocket takeover events, well, you could set your baseline at maybe 75 or 80% and above. Alright, so that is all from me, man. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video, and hopefully you guys will also share this video with your friends, giving them a better understanding towards Shadow Pokemon. Especially now, with remote raid being limited, having strong Shadow Pokemon is really optimal. And yes, I understand that Shadow Pokemon is not for everyone, but I'm here to tell you guys that Shadow Pokemon are more expensive, but yet if you power it up to a certain level, it's not as expensive, as it will be stronger than the non-Shadow form, and you still have potential to power it up beyond whatever level that it's set at. So go after Shadow Pokemon, okay? Next time I'll make a video to talk about which Shadow Pokemon you guys should really focus on. Over here has all the details also on in the article, but I'll put the link in the description down below. I'll say that already. Go ahead to check it out. Go ahead to read it all you guys want, and I hope you guys will improve in terms of your team for whatever raid bosses also. Alright, so goodbye.